Alright, here we are with some Tekken 8 tournaments. Stay tuned for the last match because this guy has an absolute meltdown over this tournament. This guy has a meltdown over losing $5. Easily the worst rage anyone's had on my channel yet. But yeah, you know, when you get on Tekken 8 on the PlayStation version, you press the little PlayStation button and bring up that menu. There's a thing that says tournaments, and you know, this is also in guiltygearstrive, but it was never worth playing in guiltygearstrive for me because the reward in guiltygearstrive was an avatar. So that's not that interesting to me. I don't really care about getting an avatar, but I decided, why not? I'll play a Tekken 8 tournament and I'll get a free avatar, right? Well, I soon find out, I look at the other tournaments and I'm like, oh, some of these tournaments don't give you an avatar. Some of these tournaments give you money. So I won the avatar tournament. You're not seeing that footage here because I don't really care about that. So I won 3 tournaments, but I'm only showing footage of 2 because the one tournament I won was just a little avatar for my PlayStation profile. The footage you're seeing now is the money tournaments. Again, only $5, but these tournaments last 15 minutes maximum. So, in my opinion, making $5 for playing 15 minutes of Tekken ain't that bad, you know? And you know what's funny? Essentially, what I'm gonna do with the money is I'm literally gonna use it to fund my Tekken 8 purchases, because as you've seen on this channel, I've made tons of videos complaining about the Tekken 8 microtransactions. They're absolutely disgusting, you know. The DLC, the season pass, it ain't worth it. But I made this money playing Tekken, you know. So it took, in total, to win both tournaments, you know, it was about, that made me about $10. In total, it took me literally 25 minutes, maybe, for both those tournaments. So that essentially pays for Tekken 8 DLC, right? I don't think I'm going to buy the Battle Pass with it or any Tekken coins, but, you know, when the next DLC character comes out that I'm interested in, I can just buy the DLC character with money that I made playing Tekken. So that's pretty cool. It's essentially, that's how I see it. You know, $5 isn't much, but in my eyes, that's a whole fighting game character right there. So, you know, I could buy Slayer and Guilty Gear with that, or I could buy the next Tekken character. So that's pretty cool to me. Because I've entered tournaments before, I've entered tournaments on this channel before. But I've always been a big hater of online tournaments because they take way too long. So on this channel, I've entered DNFduel tournaments. Now, you know, I always place top 8. Some of them were some pretty big tournaments. But the problem is, those tournaments would take hours. I'm talking hours. So I've played in my life maybe 5 or 6 tournaments. Nah, maybe like 8. Because back when guiltygearstrive, I didn't even have a channel, but I played tournaments for guiltygearstrive. I played tournaments for dnfduel and made it pretty far. And I played 1 tournament for Streetfighter 6. And my conclusion is that I'm just not someone who likes online tournaments. I remember the Streetfighter 6 tournament started at 8 p.m. And it was midnight, and the tournament was maybe 65% of the way through. Like, online tournaments take way too long. I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if that's anyone's fault, really. It seems to be the player's fault, because there's just, like, people would just take their sweet old time. But, something I noticed with this tournament is that, again, there's only 16 players in each bracket, right? So, that's already super quick. And then, on top of that, it's only 1 match. And on top of that, you have 5 minutes to get to your match. If you don't get to your match in 5 minutes, you automatically lose. You can't dispute it. Nothing like that. So I like that. So you know, I've played a bunch of tournaments in my time. You know, not a whole bunch, but a decent amount. And, you know, I placed really good. Those tournaments were way harder than these Tekken 8 tournaments. And I've already made more money from these Tekken 8 tournaments than any dnfduel tournament, than any Street Fighter 6 tournament. And these tournaments are way easier than those. So, I really like this system. It takes like 10 seconds to register for a tournament. There's a bunch of tournaments every day so far. And, again, $5 for playing like 15 minutes of Tekken. I mean, look, this video is about 19 minutes, and it's 2 tournaments in 19 minutes. 2 tournaments, 2 online tournaments normally would take maybe, I don't know, 8 hours. So, yeah, imagine playing 8 hours and not getting anything for it. So yeah, I kind of like this little PlayStation tournament system they got going on. And one of the rewards, this was only for one of the tournaments. They did one of these. There was like an Evo Japan tournament, and unfortunately I lost in the finals. I got 2nd place, but that gave you 1 month of PS Plus Premium, and PS Plus Premium is like $20 a month. So that's a $20 reward for playing a 15-minute tournament. That's pretty good. So you might be seeing a lot more of these tournament videos on this channel, because I had fun, and you know, I'm also making a little bit of money. You know, it's not a lot of money, but you know what? It's enough to fund any fighting game DLC, really. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, right now we are approaching the finals to the first tournament. This is the finals to the first tournament. Not gonna lie, it was a bit easier than the other tournament that you're about to see in this video. But $5 is $5, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll take it. And also, yes, if you notice, my Victor is back. When I started playing in these tournaments, I really thought to myself, I'm thinking, my Devil Jin isn't good enough, my Brian isn't good enough, my Dragonov isn't good enough. But my Victor, he was good enough. But I was really nervous about playing Victor because I haven't played Victor since the last Victor video on this channel, which was, you know, almost 2 months ago, I think. So, even though he was my highest ranked character, it's been a very long time since I played Victor. But I picked this guy up and everything immediately came flowing back to me. So that felt pretty good. And it felt good to play a character who's just broken, you know. Victor is not the character that everyone makes him out to be. But I am not going to sugarcoat this. He's annoying. That one move is absolutely broken, right? He's absolutely a beatable character. But it just felt nice to not have to sweat to play a character like I did with, you know, Brian. Or even Devil Jin. Don't get me wrong, Devil Jin is almost as good as Victor. He might even be better than Victor, honestly. But he's a very hard character, right? It felt nice to just pick up a character and just be able to perform with my skill without having to be blocked by a needless execution barrier or something. For example, you know, Devil Jin with electric. I'm not good with electric, so it just sucks that I'm being held back because I can't do one simple move. Or, you know, taunt jet upper with Brian. I've never even attempted that. Obviously, that's not something that you can just learn right away. That takes time. But with Victor, it'll take no time. You know, he goes crazy. So that's something that I really like about Victor. And obviously, a lot of people like to, you know, complain about him. They overblow their complaints by a lot. But obviously, he's top tier. But he's just a character. You know, he's just a character. I don't think he's worse than Geese or Akuma. So, but yeah, that's tournament 1. Tournament number 1 has been won. Here's tournament number 2. Again, the end of this tournament is going to have a major meltdown. So yeah, pretty crazy. Funny enough, this tournament you're seeing right here is actually the first tournament. I've reversed the orders of the tournaments. This is actually the first tournament, but I saved this for last in the video because, again, this guy has a meltdown, and I don't want to interrupt the video by showing that. I want to end the video with that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, right here, I ain't gonna lie. This guy's absolutely mashing his face on the controller. And obviously, this is the first tournament, so I'm not completely used to playing Victor yet. As well as, bro is on Wi-Fi. And yes, for some reason, you are allowed to play on Wi-Fi in these tournaments. There are no rules. Believe me, I read them because I was genuinely curious. There are no rules that say you cannot play on Wi-Fi. So that's kind of crazy to me. But then again, it's only a $5 tournament, and it takes less than 15 minutes of your time. It's not that big of a deal. But believe me, you can feel it. When I'm pressing these buttons, I can feel the Wi-Fi. But I ain't losing to no orange rank, alright? Even if I hadn't played Victor in months, I ain't losing to no orange rank, even if he's on Wi-Fi. So don't worry. But yeah, I mean, I will say, and you're gonna see later in this video, there are no rules for the connection, and that can cause some problems. Oh yeah, it gets toxic for no reason. But yeah, these tournaments, I can't lie, they're pretty fun. I mean, they're more rewarding than just sitting there playing ranked, you know? There's actually something behind it, even if it's only a little bit of amount, you know. A reward is a reward, so. And, you know, one of the avatars I got was actually a pretty cool avatar. So I got a PlayStation avatar for placing 4th place in the Super Big Tournament. And again, the Super Big Tournament reward is 1 month of PS Plus Premium. So, you know, I mean, it's still only a 16-player tournament, but that's like the big one of the day. But I placed 4th in it, and I got a really cool Evo Japan avatar that has Jin on it. And, you know, even though it's just an avatar, it doesn't really matter that much. That's going to be a really rare avatar, I feel. I mean, you're never going to see that avatar ever again. It says Evo Japan 2024 on it, and it's a picture of Jin. So that's pretty cool. I do like the fact that, like, yeah, they're just avatars, but they're super, super exclusive. Just a nice little thing you can add to your profile. If I would have won that tournament, I would have gotten PS Plus Premium, but I lost in the finals. So, I don't know why I said I placed 4th. Did I say I placed 4th? You had to place 4th to get the avatar. I didn't place 4th, I placed 2nd. So that sucked, but yeah, I mean, again, that's another thing. That's another thing I really like about these tournaments. Even if I lose a big reward, like that PS Plus Premium, right? That's a pretty big reward. That's like $20. Again, I've only played, the tournaments are literally like 15 minutes long. So, if I lose, it's not some gigantic, heartbreaking defeat. When I would lose those DNF tournaments, which only give you, I don't know, 20 bucks, 50 bucks. Those tournaments were 3 to 4 hours long, you know? That hurts a lot worse than losing a 15-minute tournament. So even though, and you know what's funny, the dnfduel prizes weren't even that good compared to this, because would you rather win $5 for playing 15 minutes, or $30 to $50 for playing 4 hours? I'd rather just enter a bunch of 15-minute $5 tournaments than play one giant 4-hour-long tournament. But that's just me, though. But yeah, I'm going crazy through these brackets, and we are about to approach the meltdown. Now, let me clarify this. You have to wait for your opponent to connect to your lobby, right? To play the match. I waited a very long time. There's only a 5-minute timer. If you don't join within 5 minutes, you are disqualified. I waited so long for this guy to join, and he disconnected while he was joining. I'm talking about the next opponent right here. This is the guy that's going to have the meltdown. So, he disconnected while I'm joining. And obviously, that makes me go, uh-oh, this is going to be a rough match. I'm in the finals of my first tournament. Again, this is the first tournament because I flipped them. This is the guy right here. And I'm like, uh-oh, this guy's having problems connecting to me. This is going to be horrible, right? But 33 MS, right? There's no lag here at all. Wait until you see what this guy claims. And obviously, also, I'm worried here. This guy has a lot more Tekken prowess than me. He's playing Leroy, and he's a Tekken king. So, obviously, this is my hardest match of the video, and supposed to be one of my hardest tournament matches in general. Leroy is not an easy character to play. He's a very, very rare character. Combined with the fact that he's actually a pretty high rank, you know, I'm a little nervous here, you know. Again, only $5, but it's like this is the first tournament I entered, and $5, I want that $5, man. So I'm a little nervous here, not gonna lie to you. But I'm noticing that I'm just kind of steamrolling this guy, so I'm like, what's happening? Let's just say this guy is not happy about what's happening. Now, I'm not gonna call bro a liar, but well, you'll see in a second. As everyone can see right here, this match is perfectly fine, right? No lag, perfectly fine, playable match. Just, yeah. Just you wait, obviously, now again, I don't know if this guy is bad or if he's lagging, because he's kind of just mashing his face on the controller. So it's hard to say, really, because if you don't know, this guy claims that there was some lag involved. And he kind of complains about the lag, and he also accuses me of cheating and using connection, quote-unquote, connection manipulation, whatever that means. So, yeah, beat the guy, win $5. Now, let's get into the messages that he sent me afterwards. So here we start off. This guy is saying that the match was 240 MS. I mean, obviously, you watched the video, it was not 200, it was 33 to 35 MS, which is amazing. So, you know, he claims make sure you look at that part where it says he took a pic, right? He took a pic of it being 240 MS. So, you know, he's threatening to get me banned, I guess, for some reason. So, here I am. I send him a pic of it only saying 33 MS. Now, obviously, he could be lagging. He could be telling the truth. But if only one person is experiencing lag, that means that you are the person lagging. Essentially, you're having a one-sided rollback, so it doesn't punish the player with good internet. It only punishes you. Now, again, he could just be straight up lying, because he never sent proof of the of his ping. Now, I try to explain this to him because maybe he just doesn't know, you know? I mean, obviously he doesn't know. So, again, you know, I showed him a pic. He says he took a pic, but he never sent me that pic. Now, look at this. Taking pictures without my permission falls under copyright. No, it doesn't. But he literally claimed that he took a pic as well. So he's already contradicting himself. And remember when I said that he was having connection issues even joining the match? Well, he openly admits this right here. So I wasn't just making that up. So again, he literally admits that he couldn't connect to the game. But somehow that's my fault. So, yeah. This guy was having a meltdown. This is, again, this is for $5, by the way. At this point, I already gave up, but I'm not going to lie to you. I do try to instigate a little bit. Under this message, I say, like, what do I say? I say something else, and he never responds, but I was just trying to instigate at that point. I'm not going to lie to you, because this guy is absolutely a moron. And the reason I'm not really, like, hiding this guy's name or anything is because I want to spread awareness, because there's not a lot of people that enter these tournaments, but I can say I've seen this guy in multiple brackets so far. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to play against him again. But I've seen this guy in multiple brackets, and I can only imagine that he's doing the same thing to everyone else. And I wish that there was some way to take action against this guy and just get him out of here banned from the tournaments, because obviously his internet sucks. So his internet is not going to stop sucking, and he's going to put that blame on everyone that he plays. So I do hope, you know, that there's something that can be done against this guy, but I don't know. So, yeah. You know, like, subscribe. I'm going to have more Tekken, more tournaments, whatever. Bit of a crazy video today. And yeah, peace.